Make sure the camera and the sound are working. Testing 1, 2. Okay. Let's see who's here. Hey. Oh, hello. I was just checking out my stack of books. Can you hear me? I'm doing a sound test. Sound and picture. Picture is good on my side. Sound. Hello. Everybody's on time. That's pretty cool. So we'll see how this goes today. Sound. Okay, excellent. So welcome, everybody. Back to the live stream, Thursday evening live stream. New thing going on. You can hear me? Okay. We have the microphone right here. I can actually hold it and talk into it like this. This is the camera. I lost the little thing that goes over there, the foam. I think I lost it in the forest. So that's gone. Hello, Sister Tenacious. And so we're getting some people coming in here now. That's good. So we're on time. Didn't want to be late. I had to make arrangements to be on time myself today. I was working in the basement. Almost forgot. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm thinking about doing my beard, like the poster up there. Metal objects in there. I don't know. Can't walk through the airport anymore. No, but happy to see you all. So we have 3 people here now. 4. There's 4 people in the chat. So welcome back to Thursday evening live streams. Today is Thursday. Hello, Bjorn. What a pleasant surprise. I just got finished packing up Odin in his box. So he will be on his way soon. Hopefully I can get him in the post office tomorrow. Okay, the sound, is that better? Because the microphone I have is, I'm using the one from my camera. I will have to buy a new microphone, I guess, a nice one for live stream. That's something I'm going to invest in probably this week. If we can't get this microphone here to work, it's probably not a long-term solution anyway. Yeah, it's right here. I have it plugged in like this, and I'm holding it. So it's kind of inconspicuous. So maybe this is better now, or I don't know. Sing a song. Very slight echo. Okay. I don't know what's causing that. Maybe it's because the cable is so long. I really don't know. Yeah, so maybe this is better. To talk right into it like this. Be like Elvis Presley, hula hula hula. So we're just fixing the sound here for everybody that's just tuning in. We're trying to fix the sound problem. It's just like a sound check. 1, 2. Okay, well, I think we'll try this. See how this works. The microphone is right here. Okay, so let's say hello to everybody. Let's see. Hello, Kenny, Monikoto64. Hello, Bjorn. Stone Wolf Outdoors. Hello. Sister Tenacious. And Curtis Miller. So that's all very familiar names there. That's good to see that. I'm very happy about that. Yeah, so I just finished carving up a wooden figure that's packed up, ready to go in the mail. And I'm just waiting for one last piece of packing material. Yes, here we go. Shotgun mics are sensitive when it comes to, you can hear me. Okay, well, I won't make this too long today. I will probably go and buy a new microphone that's made for this type of blogging. That's good advice. I will do that, because if this is probably just for my camera, and therefore that's why we're having this problem. I can't do anything about that at the moment, so I hope you can bear with me. Yes. So there's a lot of work going on at the biking camp. We're going to be doing some, I have a buddy helping me out here a little bit lately. He's a carpenter, and he knows how to drive the same machines I know how to drive, which is really cool. Okay. Well, maybe it just depends on the internet connection. So we'll just try and see this. So my buddy Chris, yeah, he's going to start a YouTube channel here soon. He's helping me out with some of the heavy machinery we ordered for Friday next week, Christmas weekend. We're going to be working hard. Yes, happy Torsdag. That we should be saying. That's a good thing. I think it's going to develop into a national holiday, only for heathens. I don't know how we'll get that past employment laws, but we'll see. We'll do something. Yeah, so, and we're going to repave the parking lot with gravel, so we can actually park down there and work. We just built a new firewood storage unit. It's huge. It's about 6 meters of firewood, so that's a lot. It's tall. And we built 2 of them. The other one's full already. We fill it up. That's 1 year of firewood for the house, most likely. And the other one we're going to fill up probably by the end of January. It's going to be full as well. We're also working on, we're going to even out the field at the Viking camp some, so I can use the area where I sowed the bee seeds. Yeah, that's what we just taught. I was just ready to mention, to prepare for the growing season. We're going to do that this following week, and I'm going to, there's like still kind of a slope, and I had all kinds of mixed plants in there for the bees. Last year was a total disaster. The year before was pretty cool because it actually grew, and it was really nice when it was at its peak time. It was really, really cool to look at, and the bees were all over it. Unfortunately, the bees aren't doing too well, but that's a different story. We'll have to have a fresh start here come January, February. I lost over half my population. I opened up another 2 boxes to peek in today, and 2 more hives dead. So I have 3 more left, so we'll have to see how that goes by February. I'm going to work on the field, and I'm going to have individual raised beds with logs. It'll look historic, and I'll have for myself and for homesteading here at the house. Vanessa's living here with me full time now, which is pretty cool. That's like our add-on, and she's really super useful with her skill set when it comes to outdoor stuff. She knows a lot about how to take care of the plants. And as an extra set of hands, it's really good to have that. And we're going to get really prepared for the growing season now coming this next couple. By the end of December, I really have to kickstart my farming back in action again. Start sowing the seeds, depending on the weather. I have to start sowing the seeds in the end of January for most of my crops or seeds. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, I'm not a professional beekeeper. It's something I'm learning. Definitely trying to keep on top of, because you have little creatures, you got to take care of them. But there's a lot of problems that they deal with that you have to somehow um, help them out with. So that's something that's really tough. Yeah, well, last year's a little bit early. Last year for Norway, yes. For last year, I had one plant. It's the yellow clover, and I've tried it the year before, and I couldn't get it to grow. Last year was a revelation. It was almost, some of it was as tall as me. Some of it grew in spots as tall as me. It was almost over my head, even 2 meters tall. It was a blast, and the bees loved that. It was absolutely the best thing that I had last year. And I sowed those seeds. I think it was the very first day of February, or sometime in the last couple of days of December, and it was the perfect time. Um, yeah, and depending on the weather, I have to keep an eye on the weather 2 weeks ahead, kind of guesstimate. And then I have to be ready as well, so I have to do a lot of preparing with the soil. I'd like to do potatoes this year, maybe sweet potatoes. We're looking at wheat, rye, and of course a couple of separate things for the bees, but in separate sections, so that it's not all widely spread. And what I'd really like to do is, after I get it all laid out the way I want it, it's pretty costly, but I want to see if I can get it done, is instead of use gravel up into where I do the farming section, because I need the gravel for the driveway. It's terrible right now. My new van doesn't have four-wheel drive, and it's just terrible in this type of weather. So what I'm going to try to do in the area where I'm going to be doing the farming is put planting down, like I saw in Hedeby. Pretty cool. I think on one of my videos where I went to Hedeby, you could actually see what I'm talking about. They put this almost like railroad tracks. They have one across, and then they have two going as a pathway up to the next one, and they're all nailed together with wood dowels. And I'm going to have to somehow see if that's how costly that is. But it looks really cool. I can imagine it's high maintenance. So I'll have to do some math and some figuring that out to see if that's possible. That's what I'm planning on. I have a lot of trees that will be really showing the results of last year's hard work. Planted a whole bunch of trees last year. So I think I planted over, some of the trees are still really small, so I think I planted over 60 to 70 trees there. Sounds like a whole bunch, but you can just start counting them, and they're spread out so well that you have to really look for them. Some I even just planted off in the horizon of the outlying forest, because they're very useful for the environment and for the creatures. They have a lot of different things that bloom during different times, and it's really good for the bees as well. And I like to watch when the like fruit trees. I'm trying to see if I get another 5 extra trees this year. So, and I'm trying to see if they'll actually put out fruit, because I buy them when they're already probably 6 meters tall, 5 to 6 meters tall. They're very expensive. Do I forge bearded axes? Well, I'm sure I could do it, but I've never tried, to be honest. I've never really gone that way with what I do. Axes, I know how to do it. It takes a lot of practice to get the metallurgy right. And you need some special tools depending on which style you forge the eye for the axe. You need some special drifts to make that hold the right size so that the axe handle is perfect. Yes, we will need a lot of homegrown food. That is definitely a good fact. I do a lot of extra shopping, so if I didn't have a Viking YouTube channel, I'd probably have a prepper channel. But I'm not a fan of showing off what you have on the internet for everybody to come and take it when it's time to go shopping at the prepper pantry if you want to put it that way. But yes, we definitely will need a lot of homegrown food. And what was amazing last year for me is my raised beds, the salads that we ate out of that. I don't believe that I've ever had a tastier salad in front of me. And I'm not too much of a salad fan, but I do enjoy a salad when it's got the things in it that I like to eat. Yes, and I think we will. I will. I was thinking about chickens this year and some rabbits. That's going to take some long-term preparing and thinking about before I just jump into it. There's an area where I want to prepare to keep the chickens and the rabbits, but I need to figure out first if that's something I want to do. Because that means getting up earlier every day to go make sure your animals are all right, take care of them, then go to work, come home, check your animals again, and then go home and take care of dogs. And if that's the day. Chickens will be nice, yes. Chickens, my one friend, she's got a lot of experience with chickens. She had chickens for many years, and I got to really learn a lot by watching. And yeah, you need to know a little bit about chickens and medicines that you can make for them. And there's a lot of laws here with bird stocks, livestock, and you have to watch that you meet all the criteria to keep chickens, because there's diseases and all this fabulous stuff that you have to watch out for. So I'm thinking that if I want to get chickens, it might not be worth my time to do it this year. But rabbits, I'm thinking, because they're delicious also, but they eat too much. I don't like that. Cherries, yes, or cherry as in. But cherries I have cherry trees. I have probably 12 or 13 different cherry trees. Last year, my smallest one had 2 cherries on it, which was pretty cool. I don't know if I filmed it, but it was a moment. Definitely, we giggled about it and picked 2 cherries, and we each ate one, which was kind of cool. Yeah, vegetables. That's a good joke. I like that. Yeah, be like Biden. Oh, what did I want to say? Let's not go there. Yes, vegetables. I had broccoli. I had some different ones here. Radishes, rucola. I don't know if that's the English word for it. Different types of salads, celery, um, pepper, and that's what we had in our one raised bed last year. And was it cucumbers we had, and tomatoes. But I learned something about tomatoes last year, and I'm going to definitely have lots of tomatoes because I like tomatoes. And I learned that they don't like rain. They like water, but they don't like it from the top, from the rain from falling on you. So you have to water the roots, keep the ground wet, but you don't want water from the rain. So I will be making lots of tomatoes, but I'll be building a special place to put them so they don't get rained on, which would be really cool. I like a greenhouse, but I don't think that's going to be on this year's plan either. Broccoli, yes, I love broccoli. We have some broccoli. We have a problem with mice. Even in the raised bed, I put mesh wire in the bottom. I stapled it, and I put screws, and then I filled it with this tarp, special tarp that you put in for like the pool, and they still get in there somehow. So that's really, really, really a bummer. Mouse, and it ate all my radishes. It just did not eat one or two; it ate all of them. The second time around, when we had radishes, we had two crops of radishes last year. The first one we actually got to eat from, and the second one, the mouse ate them all. Yes, they cucumbers. Yeah, cucumbers. I've had them. I've watched them because they have vines, that search for climbing sources, places to climb, and it's absolutely cool. Yes, the mice are going to probably eat up all my food this year again. And then, but I had another raised bed which was also really good. Had lots of what do you call it, herbs, cloita, like lavender. No, lavender was on the ones you eat. Peppermints, different types of peppermints, and rosemary. I can't name them in English all now, but the German names. Had a whole raised bed full of very delicious cooking herbs. It was really awesome. I don't know if you bucket it was oh well, the mousetrap, yeah. I know how that works, but I'll have to find something to do about that. Cold frame for the stars. Now, I don't know what that translates to from English, what that would be in German, but I'm going to imagine that's putting the seeds first, having them sprout, and then plant them. Is that the correct? Yes, I think it's a very good idea. Potatoes are actually like potatoes are like what we call Unkraut, weeds. You can take all the potatoes out, but there'll still be potatoes growing somehow. But potatoes are very good. Potatoes will, and they're easy. You have what I like to try out is actually growing the potato box system. You have two stacked up boxes, and you grow potatoes, and you just lift the boxes up, and you pull the potatoes out when they're ready. Ah, okay. Yes, I've had something like that in mind. Those are all going to be add-ons this year. I'm going to try a lot of new things. Each year is a new experience for me. Hello, Matthias Treeman. Welcome. We're just talking about gardening a little bit. The plans for next year's new crops. We're talking about what might happen and what might not. Making a greenhouse, a small one, is actually pretty easy. Access to all the recycling places around here. Since I work in the recycling business, I get to go around and check for cool metal things, and people throw a lot of stuff away. And you can really find some useful materials. But then again, I need to watch where and what I bring to the Viking camp. I got a lot of feedback from last year. I had too many plastic buckets and water jugs sitting around, so we're going to fix that problem. The whole top area there where the workshop is going to be historically inspired stuff, and I'll have a gardening corner below out of the camera angle when I'm not filming for the workshop for woodworking, blacksmithing, or Viking related things. We'll be doing outdoor stuff in my garden, and there will be garden related things there. It won't be completely Viking camp oriented. It will be at the Viking camp, but it won't be historically directly applied to the system of. Yeah, sometimes I forget to translate that over. I'll try to make it look more the part, what I'm trying to say. And so when I'm doing the gardening stuff, I'm going to use the gardening modern materials, and when I'm doing filming my blacksmith work or woodworking or just hanging out at the camp, then I'd like it to look like a real Viking Age camp. We're also planning on taking down the tarp. We're going to also clean out the corner back where the shop is there. We're going to make that nice and square. We're going to put a leaning, sealed, completely sealed off, sheltered building with a green roof in there. And that's going to be the workshop. It's going to be huge. And we've decided that. I've drawn it all out on paper. Good plan. Various potato variety pumpkins. Yeah, I've actually had a wild pumpkin. I've had some pumpkin seeds. They didn't look too good, so I threw them out along the edge of the forest for the birds, and they actually started to grow. I had a wild pumpkin seed like late in the year. I was like, where'd that come from? And I remembered, oh yeah, I had some pumpkin seeds that were moldy, so I threw them out. Garlic, yes, garlic is a good one, but garlic takes a long time. I wonder, John, how is your garlic doing? Because I remember something, you were planting garlic there at the in front of your camp. Yes, it is a very feeling of freedom to be out there and growing your own food, but the amount of food you actually need for the year is much greater than. Right now, I'm trying to learn about doing this. It's not as easy as you would imagine the first time around, but I learned a lot last year. And this year, I think I'll be actually having my one loaf of bread that I'd like to make out of my own flour that I ground out of my own wheat or rye, depending. I'll have to see what I can get, how much I have to plant to get that. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Bake a loaf of bread this year out of my own crops. Lots of tomatoes, maybe some corn even. Well, I don't know. I don't have any half-ripe tomatoes right now. Can't help you on that one. But tomatoes, yes, different types. I especially like the small ones, which you put on a sandwich or something like that. Oh, really? Never seen a real tomato. Oh, well, yeah, actually, if you look at them real close, they have like, I think it's called cilia, is the word. Plant eggs. Eggs. Okay. Would it grow chickens? I don't understand. How does that work? Or is that an eggplant? I've heard of that term. Hmm. Cherry tomatoes. Hmm. Yeah, that's up to the plan for upcoming. But definitely, that's a good idea to find some vegetables that grow wild. That's definitely eggplant. Yes, that's what I was thinking. So I don't think we can plant eggs and await anything from sprouting out of the ground other than, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it works. No one's ever tried it. Maybe it's a surprise. Evolutionary idea. Garlic. What's up? That was the dogs sneezing their boogers all over the place. What are you doing? Ooh. Hmm. Yeah. Well, here in the fall, we have what's called the Drohnenschlacht, and the bees, all the bee workers, they actually kick out all of the male bees out of the colonies. So there's no reason to do that because they kick them out to die because they don't want to feed them. So what happens is the next year around, the new colony makes all these new drones, and that's basically how that works here in Germany. They have that. I don't know how they take care of that in the States, but they try to keep the drone population low because of the varroa mite that gets into the cells of the drones and multiplies by the thousands off of drone brood. So I think that's what killed two of my colonies. Very much a shame because yeah, I did feed my bees sugar water up until about 3 weeks ago. Now that's they filled it all up into food, and they were doing well up to about last week. We looked in there; they were all still kicking. And now 2 colonies completely died, and I have to take them apart now and do a. This weekend, I have to take apart the colonies frame by frame and see if I can find a indicator of what happened. And let me take care of the dogs. Dogs back, big chin. Up. Dogs. Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of things this next week. I'll be working on flattening out the terrain there a little bit so it's not such a ankle twister when you walk through there. I have to do something so the dogs don't poop on my crops. That's kind of gross too. So I was thinking about doing raised beds of about 50 centimeters using old logs that I have laying around. I think that'll be pretty cool. No, people don't pay you to put your bees out unless you put out 200 colonies at a time here. And you have to register your bees every time you move them from the spot you put them. So no, that's not something I would like to do. Oh wow, Wilberforce, yes. They make pretty cool stuff. I've been looking at something. 3-looped axe. Well, I wonder how that would, what model that is. But yes, I can imagine you're very excited. I ordered last year. I ordered some Gredstvoss axes, and they got lost in the mail. I was very angry, so I complained and complained and complained, and then 2 new ones in the mail. 2 weeks later, I've got another 2 axes in the mail. So then I ended up having 2 axes twice, pay for once, which is pretty cool. But I would have rather had the axes that I ordered on time rather than have to complain about the not getting here. Because what happened is the post delivery said they delivered them to me, but they delivered them to my neighbor down the road, and he didn't know what to do with them. I went from house to house, and then someone said, "Why don't you go over to that guy's house?" And so I went there, and he had my stuff. So that was pretty. What do you call it? Destructive. Hold on just a second. Hey, Rua. Hey, Ligan. Dog barking. People outside making noise. So let's see, what's this? One time whoa, okay. An accident. Huh, that's funny. Dogs. Yes, an accident. That's funny. There's a joke about that. I forgot how it goes though. Yeah, especially here we have a lot of delivery drivers that don't care about your stuff, and they just throw it out and put it in front of your house and drive off. And yeah, that's a problem for another day. It's not. We're not going to discuss that here. So been working today at evaluating how much wood I'm going to need to do my next project. A Grubenhaus is on the list. It's been on my idea for a while, and I want to build it in 1 week, so that's going to be a lot of work. So when I had my tent set up, the camping tent, not the Viking one, I'd like to put a Grubenhaus, a pit house, and somehow I'd like to do that. Well, I have the heavy machinery. I'd like to get the foundation for it done. And then we'll see if I can actually do that. I have some old beams laying around. I'm not done yet with the roundhouse, so I don't really want to start a new project yet. I have to do some work on the inside of there, but it's really coming together nice. I'm going to put a new door on the front of it. I'm going to make a complete new frame for it and sink in the door into the frame so it's wooden hinges. Hard to explain. I saw it at one of the museums that I was at there, and I think I filmed it as well. It was the Viking Museum, not the Hedeby one, but the one with the Viking buildings. Well, if you need an axe, first of all, you need to know what do you want to do with it. I mean, it's you don't want to get a hatchet and then go out and split firewood with it. That's gonna really be hard on it and wear it out. But there are some nice model of axes that are for the mid-range use. There's some Grensfors or Hultafors. They have really nice axes. If you're into restoring old tools, like I am, I usually go to the junk, to the recycling for the metal, and I try to find old beat-up axes. So that I restore them as a hobby, and then I have some real nice restored axes with historical value. That's yeah. Someone's getting on my nerves here. Let's just. Okay, I'll do that later. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the ones that if you want to look at axes from Hultafors or Grensfors, it's the Forest axe. That's a pretty good one. Or I personally, I don't have that axe, but it's one that I gave away as a gift. That's a really cool axe. They're quite expensive, but you get what you pay for. I have the carving axe, and I have the little tiny one for the small carving axe, miniature one. You can check that out. And if you go on the Grensfors website, they have second-class quality. So something that may have a blemish, the forge marks weren't polished out quite nice on that, or something like that, or the handle has off color, and you get them a little bit cheaper, and they're brand new, and they're just as good as the top dollar quality. It's perfectly shiny, but that's something to check out maybe. Yeah, see, that's a good axe. It's one that I wanted myself, but I thought as a gift it would be better off. Carved with chisels. Well, okay, yes, that's I do too. But I use the carving axe to. It's got a nice cut edge on it to chop out most of what I'm carving. I do a lot of roughing out with the axe, and I like to try carving kuksa, like cups and stuff. And so it's pretty tough. Hello, Luke and Mum. How are you doing? We're just talking about axes. Yes, so axes. I have so many axes that I've restored, and I don't know. When I want to go use an axe, I go grab an axe, and it takes me 10 minutes to decide which axe I want to pick up and actually use, because I look at them and go, this is nice, and this is nice. Okay. Okay, just a second here. People are getting on my nerves. That's my machine for next week. They want to know where to deliver it, and I have to really answer that real quick. I do have throwing axes. really cheap one.